Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Going back episodes and recording sessions here, so you're catching me on the second half of football podcast. We just recapped the NFC East.
Mm.
Diego, how are you doing? You had a great weekend. It's lovely out here in July. I don't know if you classify 90 as lovely, but whatever.
Today, not as lovely. This weekend was also mad humid, but now I'm worse because you talked about the NFC East, and I remember the Cowboys exist. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm doing overall great because I realized I do these leg days. I found a leg day workout for to solve my patellar tendonitis, and I was like, how long have I been doing this? It's been a minute, but it hasn't been too long. It's been about 2 months, and it's gone pretty well to the fact where I've played Friday, Saturday, I played basketball. I didn't have time to stretch at all in between or after, and I was completely fine. And that was amazing. That was something I hadn't been able to do for at least like 6 months, man. So that's kind of lit. Yeah, mobility definitely
You feel
don't
so
sleep out
good when
on it.
you're able to move your joints, man. It's crazy.
It's
I'm
crazy.
glad that worked out for you. Like I finally figured out if you shoot with the laces, good things will happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been practicing that with my pull-up jumpers and stuff like that. We got a company tournament coming up at the
Ooh,
first week of August, so that
dang.
should be fun. Trying to get my 3-on-3 team ready and set, so ready to go. We might do some Spain pick and roll actions.
That's what we need.
So
Yeah.
just telling you, if you haven't seen the Spain pick and roll, it's basically you have a normal pick and roll, and then you have a third guy set a screen on the initial screener's guy.
Mm-hmm.
So when he back cuts to the paint, you could have the second screener like pop out or just like cut right behind him or do whatever. It's like there's
Yep.
a lot of 3-on-3 communication instead of 2-on-2 communication, and um, yeah, you could do a lot of things with it. So trying to come up with some game plans here for the team and stuff like that because a couple of us have played together, a couple have not. Trying to get everybody engaged in a non-organized format because I want to win the whole darn thing, bro. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll be fun.
Yep, that's how it is in our league too. And working on split action as well. It's a triangle concept, so it's fun. It's fun. I have my oh look, it's right here. I have my coach's clipboard. I use this sometimes. Look, you
Okay,
can
Coach Pop.
oh wait, you could just be like, yo, you guy move here. I also came with a marker, but man, that would just piss me off. It's too hard to erase. Yeah,
Don't go breaking that thing, man. That's all I ask.
nah, it's too strong. It's from Amazon.
Okay, so first topic, recap in the summer league. Jan Hansen is Jokic. Done. We're done. We're done. He's literally Jokic, bro. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy what he's doing in the league right now.
it's just insane. I mean, I heard about him at first on the what was it? It's not the combine in the draft combine. He popped off, man. He was hitting like the pass he made that first pass in the first game. Like I love how he gets the pass and he's just like like it was so nice. And he did that in the combine. He hit threes. He just yeah, it was nice. And I hope he has a good career. And it's just kind of weird though where he fits with Klingon, with do they have Duop Wreath on that team? I know they have another center, at least one more. And obviously they don't have Aiton anymore. They still have Robert Williams, which don't know what they're doing with him, but you gotta trade him, I guess. So yeah. He's really fun, but Chinese players are also the Chinese like I think he was defensive player of the year last year as an 18-year-old. Like what does that mean about the Chinese Basketball Association? It tells us that those memes are true. When someone plays bad, start learning Chinese, buddy. But
That's crazy.
The
Um,
Mavs, the
I mean,
Mavs.
other guy to look at is like Carter Bryant is probably the next Kawhi Leonard. The way
Yeah.
he was clamping is insane. Like he's just like all over the court, getting strips, getting like breakaway dunks off of them. Like he looks dominant on the defensive end.
Mhm.
Um, like he looks out of this world, and Ace Bailey has all the tools he needs.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best selection in the draft for where the Jazz picked him at, and he's all the bit improving it. Like that's if there's two guys I'm really excited to see, it's Carter Bryant and Ace Bailey, and
Yeah.
BJ. If BJ didn't get hurt like a 76er would, like in the second game, like
True.
that's wild.
It's tough, man. But yeah. Speaking of Carter Bryant, I think it was against the Spurs, right? Cooper Flag had like 31 points on 10 20 shooting, most points in the summer league game since John Wall in 2010. That's kind of lit. Also, right, like obviously Cooper didn't have a great first game. He had some nice moments, but and then he had a good first or second game, kind of expected. But one other guy on the Mavs roster, Ryan Nemhard, very interesting because we got him off. We just signed him, I think, on a two-way, and I was like, man, how did he not get drafted? And then I saw his height, and my man is 6 feet tall. So I think it's just tough, and it made me think of like Yuki. I don't know what his last name, Kawamura. He was on the Grizzlies last year. He's in summer league again this year, and it's just tough, like seeing them. Cam Spencer, I guess, as well. Cam Spencer signed a deal. I don't know if it was with the Grizzlies again. I think it was. But it just shows you how tough it is to be a not 6'2", 6'3", and up guard in this league. There's not a lot of spots left, and you gotta do something special. And Ryan Nemhard makes good passes, and so does Yuki. There was one he catches the ball and just zooms it behind his back to the open guy. So yeah, you gotta have that a little bit more juice than every other player.
Dylan Harper looks like a
Yeah,
clutch player he is. Like he looks like he could be the best player in the draft. Like I think what the Spurs were doing, like
yeah,
for both their first round picks, is just they're
yeah.
getting scary, man. They're getting scared. They're gonna make some really big noise with what they're building with the young talent there. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, Cooper Flag shut down for a reason. They saw everything they needed to. I think the thing with him is like he's gonna have to learn to catch more on the move, which he can do and stuff like that. But just thinking about the context of like where you fit on the Mavs, that would be important too. And I'm wondering how much usage he will get as far as like bringing the ball up because
Yeah.
from what he's saying, like he's not comfortable doing that 94 feet like on the pro level. Like that will take some time and getting used to. So is that really the right environment we want him in? I don't know. I don't know, but I think Jason Kidd has seen the position better than any of us have. So it's like
Hmm.
I think he's like the best guy to kind of dictate like what the team should be doing.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, Kid was there. It's kind of at the beginning of the Giannis ball, putting the ball in his hands. Not saying, well, I mean, they could say that Cooper could be an MVP in the future, but yeah, he might be able to help Cooper develop those skills as well. So we'll see.
Um, Guy in Washington, absolutely killing it. Trey Johnson,
Yeah.
just getting every shot like he wants, and
Hmm.
um, I think for the Wizards in transition and what they need to do, like he's a good building block. And honestly, he should have gone top five with the way he's performing right now. It's especially with some of the struggles that Con Knipple is having. That
Yeah.
feels like an ice cold take that I've had after saying that. Trey Johnson is just absolutely lighting it up. The next great prospect from Texas, baby.
Yeah. There were a lot of comps between him and Kevin Durant. I think just the shooting in general. I watching some of his clips at Texas was insane. Like my man hitting fade away, like he's right-handed, hitting fading over his left shoulder, like near the what is that called? The not the deep corner, um, the short corner around there. Kind of near the dunker spot, a bit farther back. That like this guy can make shots, and I think he is. That's an NBA skill he has from the jump. So there's also a play where he has the ball. It looks like he's stuck, and he just throws it off the defender's calf, gets it back, and then goes and lays it up. I can't tell if it's intentional or not. How I don't think I could do that in a game to just be like, oh man, right there, yo, right back layup.
It's a smart play.
No,
It's a
it's
smart play,
smart,
man.
but it's like that one play of where LeBron like puts it between I don't know if it's the defenders or his teammates' legs on a move, and then he gets a layup. Like oh, because it was behind the back into another player's legs to between their legs and get it back. And I was like, there's no way. There's some things in basketball where you make the move, you're like, I'm just gonna do this, and we'll see what happens. Like you take a crazy shot and you make it, and you're like, huh. But I don't know. I don't, it's hard to tell for that one.
I just look at him where he gets to like the third rung or like the elbow area
Yeah.
and like manages to get the release just right on help defense. Like that's why I'm most impressed with him. And I think
Hmm.
some of the creativity you see it on display where it's like you want that out of a guy like that with high IQ that can make something out of nothing. Because when you go into a Wizards organization, they probably don't have a lot of shot creators. Like when the going gets tough, they'll just jack up threes or shots like that. So having a guy that's hitting tough contested threes, like you saw what he did in Phoenix in his debut, it's pretty impressive. So
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of the Wizards not having shot makers, they do have Will Riley. They drafted him, another Illinois alum. He had a good game in there, so very interesting. Yeah, I guess also Terrence Shannon Jr. is popping off, but right, second year player played well in the playoffs, so he reasonably, I guess expectedly, is dominated with some very nice play, especially the 3-point shooting. I think that's the only thing you can give up for a guy that is, as I would say, freight train in any situation. So yeah, him hitting that three is interesting.
okay, let's pivot to the Eastern Conference. Kind of a short episode today, so might
Yeah.
not hit 20 minutes here, but that's all right. Um, we've obviously talked about the injuries, the Achilles injuries, in particular, at length in previous episodes. Damian Lillard, Tyrese, Jason
Yeah.
Tatum, sucks. But I think, especially with some of the moves made recently by some of the teams that we've also mentioned with Atlanta, with what the Knicks have done, and like um, what the Pacers failed to do. Like, there's a lot. I think the parity in the league um, is leaning towards 8, 9, 10 depth teams. We saw that with the Pacers and OKC,
Hmm.
and what teams like the Rockets are trying to do as well. So, like in the Eastern Conference, um, let's just break down some of the top teams and some of the teams in consideration here so far. So,
Yep.
Cleveland, they surprised everybody last season with how they started.
Really did.
Um, they kind of tapered off as the regular season waned, and then the beginning of the playoffs, they hit unfortunate set of injuries before they ran into the Pacers wall, and that's kind of how their season ended up. But Darius Garland playing for Turf Toe, I don't know. I've always been skeptical about Darius Garland. I think he's a very creative player, but I think when the lights are bright, even with the injuries he's played through, it's I just don't feel comfortable with him next to Donovan Mitchell in that situation. He's
Yep.
missing a one extra gear, and if Donovan had that, I think it would make things a lot easier. Hopefully, Evan Mobley can grow into that and continue growing into
Hmm.
that, so Darius Garland doesn't have to be. But um, that's just something I've noticed a lot, especially when you try to force things on that injured toe. Um,
Yep.
you look at the Knicks. Knicks seem like this is the year for them. They got a new head coach with Mike Brown. They've added a lot of key adjustments like Jordan Clarkson. Um, they got a
Gershon
big who?
Gershon Yabusele from the
Yes,
76ers.
that's the guy. Like guys that wouldn't wow you for the starting lineup, but like again, depth players and like a commitment to play with the depth. And
Yeah.
but you look at like Cat and Brunson, it's like does that pairing work defensively because they were just getting slated all the time.
Hmm.
So did they go the furthest they can last year, despite this year being like less hurdles amongst the contenders? Like we were on this podcast talking about in the regular season how they were not going to do well against the Celtics and the Cavs, and they kind of surprised everybody by like getting into the conference finals and the Cavs and the Celtics there because the Knicks beat one of them, and um, yeah, if there's any opportunity, it's now. But you got Orlando making a big trade for Desmond Bain. I
Yep.
think not a lot of people are talking about. Um, like I think it shows how teams are able to pay significant assets for complementary pieces that can transform their team. Um, and their core has already been established. Look at Atlanta, um, what they did with Porzingis, what they've done with some of the changes where you move away from Capella and then now you're trying to add one more guy like Alexander Walker. Like
Hmm.
those guys where you have a strong depth of wings now with Dyson Daniels,
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson, the rookie you've got from last year. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of talent on Atlanta, and they could chat. Both Atlanta and Atlanta could challenge the Knicks. Then you look at the Bucks. who seemingly upgraded with Miles Turner, but let go of Dane. Pacers let go of Miles Turner. Like both those teams, you envision are going to take a step back just because of what they've done, and you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen with the Heat with some of the additions they made. Do they
Yeah.
get elevated so much, despite a lot of like Miami taking a lot of heat for what they've done?
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Um, I think that got us to 7. So that's dipping our toes in the play-in. I think I think I agree with the general order. The Pacers and the Bucks are a real mystery. The Heat I think are just playing. They've just felt like that the past few years. But I don't know. I guess what kind of boost do they get from not having to deal with Jimmy Butler for half a season and all that drama that he brings, and especially with Norm Powell, another creator. I don't know if he starts, and I feel like you even might have too many ball handlers, or at least too many primary ball handlers. You gotta put someone at secondary with Casper Siakachonis as well. I'm intrigued. I want to see a good year from Bam. It always feels like I have this expectation of where Bam should be, and it's either
right,
he's there or not,
right.
but he's there sometimes and not. So, and part of it could have been Jimmy. I mean, it's really hard to do your job when a big part of your team doesn't really want to play that part. So they're interesting,
I
but
completely forgot about the 76ers, where everybody's like, don't even talk about them. But if you look at their talent, if five people are healthy, we talked about this last week,
yeah.
they can make a run too. Like Paul George, like just got a knee cleanup he has to do. Joel
Hmm.
Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, we've seen what BJ's doing. Like Jared McCain last year got off to a hot start. Like that's a nasty top five, man.
Yeah.
That's a nasty top five if you think about it. Um, so I think when you're looking at all these teams, it's just like who wants it.
Hmm.
And my money, if I had to put it, wants to say Cleveland or Orlando just because of the
Ooh.
programs they built.
Yeah.
Like, and I think the Orlando move is not being talked about enough. But I can't overlook Atlanta or what the Knicks have been consistently. Like what this is showing us is some of the tiny tweaks in your depth is going to make all the difference in the world.
Uh huh. Yeah, and especially in an era where I think um like Mikal Bridges ran over like 20 marathons last season, something like some insane number. Like players are running more, players are having to exert more force and more strain that they can't. The 82 game player is so rare because it's almost impossible now. You need more guys, and yeah, depth is a big thing. And I think it would be really insane to have an Eastern Conference Finals of Magic Cavs 2 years after they met in the first round in the 70 game series.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That would be fun. And I don't know. Your point about Darius Garland, I feel like it's just tough because again, you're back to two sub 6'4" guards, and Donovan Mitchell's a neutral defender, but I think Darius Garland gets switched on, he's barbecue chicken. You put Jason Tatum switched on him, barbecue chicken. Like, who can he guard effectively? Not that many players. So I think it's the biggest issue with him is that he needs to be insulated defensively, and they can kind of do that when you have DeAndre Hunter, or
Mobley.
Jared Allen, Mobley, but then with Donovan as well, there's a little bit of a kink, or I guess chink in the armor. So
I think they have to. I think he has to learn the fundamentals better
yeah,
because even when you mismatch with size, sometimes I could get steals because I try to outsmart the person posting me up. So if I know
yeah,
he's leaning in one direction, let him continue to lead in one direction so he thinks he has leverage, and then try to go around the backside to get a steal, like
hmm,
from his other hip, um, or just pull the chair. Like
yeah,
you got
that
to
was
mix
good.
those techniques and stuff like that. Like extremely important. And if you notice that teams are just trying to mismatch hunt you, you got to cross switch beforehand and stuff like that. You
Hmm.
got to have a scheme that allows that to happen. So then you have Darius Garland kind of guarding the corner, and less and the offensive player in the corner has less decision to make. It's very tough to move in the corner when you can't shoot it right away because you have the extra defender in the baseline, right?
Yeah.
So putting Garland in those situations where you notice he's trying to get switched on with the pick and rolls and stuff like that, um, I think is Cleveland's got to have do some soul searching. Like if you want to commit to this player and invest in this player, you got to invest in the strategies to help the overall team function well defensively because they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I hope their offense stays the same with all that movement. That was really fun last year.
Yeah, they had an exciting offense. They really had an exciting, and I think part of it was the injuries that just tanked them
Yeah.
because they could have pushed this to like 7 games, like without the injuries. I really think so. But yeah, I think I just wanted to point this out to be like the East is going to be fun to watch. Like 4 or 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't have said the same thing about them.
Yeah.
Um, but no, the state the Bulls are probably going to be playing anyway. Doesn't matter. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's true. That you must be hurting off that Noah Sengay picture where he's getting dunked on.
That was nasty.
That was tough. That was tough. It's tough out
We,
there.
we want to keep everybody. We want to trade everybody but Vooch. Um,
Yeah.
After doing so well, it just sucks. Like I don't know what Art is doing. Um,
No.
I want
Not
to trust
dialed.
him because I think the types of players he's picking is sound,
Hmm.
but that's assuming if you have like
A direction.
Josh, yeah, a direction like Josh Giddey and a superstar. Like
Yeah.
Kobe White's close, but I wouldn't call him that. And you don't have like a dominant mismatch guy from like a athletic standpoint. That was supposed to be Patrick
Hmm.
Williams, right?
The
Um,
paw.
yeah,
It's tough out
I
there
I
for him.
don't know. I think you got to with a team like that, you got to pivot off of Vucevic and get some guy like Mitchell Robinson or some like lob threat like
Yeah, you
defense.
gotta get something, some actual center, because
Because with the way this team is constructed, like I don't trust Vooch on Steph Curry. I know unfair comparison. I
yeah,
don't trust him on like Shea. I don't trust him on like
I don't trust
I
him on
just want
anyone.
my big to hold his own, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think Vooch will be able to do that. It's kind of like he's a harder guy to cross match on like Garland because you
Hmm.
can't just say stick him in the corner because now you're putting your other defenders in a bind by opening up the paint. So
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough as a Bulls fan.
yeah, it's also tough as a Mavs fan before the lottery apparently. So
True. Not anymore. Not anymore. Hopefully.
alrighty, that's it for us. Kind of a light episode today. Not a lot going on,
Yeah.
but appreciate you guys always sticking to the pod. Follow us on our Instagram channel at amon.a.mission.
Boom.
Full
Lock
length
in.
videos are on the YouTube. I'm on a mission. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We will see you next week or later. Depends.
Yeah. Depends on how it goes. It's getting slow. It's getting real slow. Getting Kyle
It is.
Anderson
It
slow
is.
mo. Yeah. Well,
I did
we'll
not
see.
think Kyle Anderson was making a promo in this episode, but here we are.
I made the Kyle Anderson promo slow mo. I did that. Had to do it. Had to add that little spice, but we'll see you guys later. Thanks for hopping on. Peace.